Hi, Jim. I am so excited to have you on the Wicked Smart Maine GOP podcast. This is our second episode. And before we get into this crazy election integrity issue we have going on in Maine right now, or lack of integrity in Maine, I think we should make sure that the audience knows who you are. And tell me if I get your name wrong, but it's Jim Deyermond, right?
Perfect.
Yes? Okay.
Perfect.
The chairman of the Maine GOP.
Yeah.
And I want you to talk about your background and tell people what you do.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for inviting me here. This is my first official podcast. I've done TV interviews and radio, and even been in a couple of movies. But
What?
This is my way in the background. But this is my first official podcast. So thank you for inviting me, and I can't wait to see how it goes. But give you my background. I grew up in Massachusetts. The son of a couple. My father's a World War II veteran. Him and his 5 brothers served in World War II, 6 of them. My father was hurt the worst. He was in the Navy. I have 3 uncles in the Marines, 1 in the Army Infantry, 1 in the Army Air Corps. My dad was in the Navy. So they were spread around the services. And my grandfather is a immigrant from Ireland, so I'm a second-generation American. I know I don't look as Irish as some people think, and some people think my name is French, but I'm Irish.
Well, that's funny. I'm like a 4th-generation Irish immigrant as well on my mom's side, so that's interesting.
So I grew up in Andover, Mass. My dad was a 37-year firefighter. We weren't rich by any means, but we had my brothers and me. We had great times, and I had a very, I described my mom. She was just great, a great mom. Left us alone when she needed the boys to be left alone, and we would play and fight amongst ourselves, but had a great upbringing. My dad was hardworking, and we had come from a great family in that area in Massachusetts. I was coming out of high school and college, went to school in Vermont, and I decided that it was time to get moving on. So had always wanted to be a state trooper in Mass. A couple of my cousins were troopers, and I really wanted to be in that job. So I took the test, and I scored very high, and I was in the academy and finished. It was a tough 20 weeks.
20 weeks?
20 weeks,
That's a long time.
It's a lot. And finished that, and then started my career with the state police. I tell people I did all kinds of jobs. I did about everything. I started out in Western Mass, out in the rural areas. Many towns don't have police departments, so you are the police officer and the trooper on the road and the highways. So I did a little bit of everything. And then I was transferred into the crime lab. I did 5 years as a ballistician. Saw a lot more of life than I probably should have at that age, but I was responding to murders and suicides, and all shootings, and it was very interesting, a very scientific 5 years, to say the least. And then I transferred to Logan Airport. I was a detective at Logan Airport for 10 years, and that's when I started on the SWAT team as well.
Wow. At
Logan Airport. And got promoted in 95 to sergeant, and it's an automatic transfer. I was transferred to a barracks. I was a midnight commander, and then I was assigned to headquarters, and I was assigned to DEA task force. I was a task force agent, assigned to Customs Authority. Kind of funny today that
I was going to say Customs Authority as in immigration and coming across the border and things like that?
We were deputized as customs agents back then. It's a federal law that you can do that. And I had all the authority of customs as they do today at that time, as well as a state trooper and a DEA task force agent. So it was an interesting period of time. And went on to Marine unit and other aviation unit with the counter narcotics. It was just a great time, and I finished up my career with the Boston Marathon. Pretty much, I was there at the takedown at the boat in Watertown, and loaded Mr. Sanayev onto the stretcher, and away he went in the ambulance.
Holy
and,
smokes.
Yeah, short time later, a few months, forget the exact time, I got injured training really bad, and that was it for me. 2016, I got hurt, and 2017, I was retired.
Wow. And that was in
37
Massachusetts.
years, yeah.
And then after that,
The day after my signature dried, I moved to Maine.
moving to
I
Maine.
escaped Massachusetts when I could, as soon as I could, and I moved to Maine. Been up here a lot. My buddies and me, we have a hunting camp up above Lincoln
Nice.
in Drew Plantation on Mud Pond, and I've been coming up to Maine hunting and fishing most of my life, and I just love it. And I had a chance to buy a house with a barn, and I did it.
Yeah.
And then a couple of years later, I ran into someone. I met someone up here, and then I ended up marrying her. My wife is a lifelong Mainer. Her family has been in Maine for such a long time that she's now becoming a member of the DAR. She has
that's cool.
several relatives in the Revolutionary War from
So you have a
Maine.
very patriotic family, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Service
Very
oriented,
patriotic.
absolutely. And so I love Maine, and I got involved in politics as soon as I moved here at the town level. I was welcomed in, and welcomed in so much that within the first month they voted me in as treasurer, and then I moved up the ranks to eventually become town chair. And then there was an opening for the county chair in York County. I ran for that unopposed, and I was a county chair. I told them I was only going to do one term, and then people were talking me into running for state chair. I ran for state chair and got elected in January, and I've been in this position since January.
You've been kicking around for 10 months with us, but you were down in York County, and you guys have a pretty big county down there. You have pretty consistent high attendance by county standards right now. I was very impressed the first time I went to a York County meeting. And so you have a background in Massachusetts as a state trooper, and you obviously have spent time in a lot of different fields and areas. You've seen customs, you said you were talking about drug issues, you were talking about the Boston Marathon, and then, I mean, the normal talking to Massachusetts people and handling crime and just seeing that in person all the time as well.
Well, crime doesn't really operate in independent states. Crime is crime all through the country. So it's the same crime. It's usually the same people committing the same crime, but the same lifestyles they live puts them in that position where they have to commit the crimes. So there's really no difference in crimes. And one of the other jobs I had in Mass, I was a commander of a community action team. And we started in the city of Lawrence, and then we moved to Lowell, and that was absolutely amazing. I ran a team of 6 troopers in Lawrence and Lowell, and we helped, and Haverhill too. I think the city of Haverhill, we were in there too, and we helped bring the crime rate down dramatically with targeted law enforcement, which they do not do up here.
What was that term again?
Targeted law enforcement.
And what does that specifically look like?
What was going on was the city of Lawrence, like up here in Maine, some of the cities and the bigger towns, they're so busy that they go from 911 call to 911 call, and the day-to-day operations of law enforcement, the driving around looking for problems, observing.
Patrol,
yeah. And Lawrence and Lowell and many towns in Mass had a problem, probably still do to some extent, with unregistered motor vehicles. I think in Lawrence at the time, maybe 25% of the vehicles were unregistered, uninsured.
Holy moly.
So you risked your life driving around, getting in an accident with someone who would just hop out of the car and leave. And that's a
huge problem.
Real problem. Medical bills, insurance, for all kinds of reasons. So it put me in the field of community service with it was called the Community Action Team, and we actually did outreach with the community. And I got to say, they loved us. I had people come up to me. I learned Spanish in high school, but I really used it in Lawrence. I still have a working knowledge of Spanish, and the Spanish people who lived there, the citizens of Lawrence, loved it, that they could finally go out at night and operate without risk of being held up or carjacked.
Yeah, and I kind of think of the kind of the childlike worldview of what a policeman would be, where you're the friendly neighborhood policeman, where they feel like they could talk to you, and you were friendly with them, and you were keeping them safe, and then you were able to form that relationship. Where sometimes I think of, especially in the last couple of years, the relationship between the American people and police officers, and it's been very tainted by the media. Sometimes people are fearful, or they think that there's malevolence happening, when in reality, you were making an effort to connect with the community and make sure they felt safe.
We were there to help for them.
Right.
For that reason, we were brought in. Because the police, they were overstretched, not stressed, but overstretched. They couldn't do the day-to-day patrol functions. They were just going from call to call to call.
Right.
And we stepped in. The governor and the colonel sent teams in there, and we did great work. And I think the local police really were happy we were there too. I know, especially Lawrence, because we took the heat off, but we were also there to back them up.
Yeah.
So we doubled on the evening and midnight shifts, the nighttime shifts when we patrolled. We doubled the patrol, the police presence in the city, and that helped in amazing ways. And I wish we could do that here in Maine.
That's what I was going to say. It'd be fantastic to have that here.
Well, the problem I think we have here, we don't have enough troopers, we don't have enough sheriffs, and we don't have enough police officers for many new reasons that weren't there when I was prior to 2017.
Right. Yeah. No, that's we could have a whole nother podcast episode about crime in Maine, in addition to the crime happening with our election integrity. And, okay, so you're the chairman, and you've told us a lot about your background experience, and obviously that would impact how you are the chairman for the state GOP. And for people who are not familiar with our hierarchy and structure and tasks and roles and things like that, can you just give us a quick rundown of what your role as chairman looks like, whether that's with the committee, the RNC, and then when we're working at headquarters?
It's best if I give you it's like a table of organization, or a chain of, I don't want to say chain of command, but people will be familiar with that, so I'll use that term. In the party, and I think most parties is like this, especially here in Maine, our grassroots are the town committees, the members who join their town Republican committee and are active in that committee and go to meetings and make donations and do fundraisers and potlucks and bean suppers, all that kind of social work, socializing to get together. And the town committees, for lack of a better word, report to the county or affiliate with the county level committees. And the counties operate in that county and try to coordinate the towns. And the counties kind of, I use the term report, but that it's our next level up, affiliate with the state. So many people think that the state party headquarters, which I'm the chairman, I'm elected the chairman, control the counties and the towns. I do not. That's not my job. That's not the job of the chairman. The chairman is to make the operation from top to bottom work as smoothly as possible. And the number one goal is to get Republicans elected.
Right.
That's job one.
Yep.
I think of nothing else. Whenever there's a problem arises, I think of it's like Star Trek, the prime directive. For me, it's get Republicans elected.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. So I have all those people kind of reporting up to me and meeting with me, and then I bring their thoughts and ideas and wisdom to the national level. As state chairman, I am a voting member of the Republican National Committee. So as I like to tell people at our meetings, I said, you are 5 degrees of separation from Donald Trump. And I explained to them that we have your town chair reports to the county chair reports to the state chair reports to the Republican National Chairman. We have a new one, Joe Crothers. And the national chairman reports to the party leader, and that's Donald Trump. So from the town chair's perspective, there's only 5 people or 4 people to go through to get a message or to get communication to the President of the United States.
I love that way of talking about it, because when someone says they want to get involved or they don't know where to start, and I was like, you can actually go to your local town committee and you can get involved with them.
Yeah.
And then you get to hang out with your neighbors and your friends and have them over for barbecues, and then you can fill out postcards, for example.
And if your town and not every town has an active committee.
Right.
Many towns, especially in western Maine and northern Maine, they're majority Republicans, and they're happy with the way things are going because they know everybody in town, and they're all Republicans, or the majority of them. But we have towns that do not have active committees, and if you're in a town that does not have an active committee, you are more than welcome to go to the neighboring town, as long as you're a registered Republican, and attend their meetings, and you're also welcome at the county level. Every county has a meeting, usually monthly, and anybody in that county who's a registered Republican is more than welcome at the county meetings.
Right, yeah, in those county meetings, they have their chair, and then they have a committee man and a committee woman, right?
Secretary, treasurer.
And the chair and the committee man, committee woman, I believe those three people would attend the state committee meetings.
Yes.
And then that would be the overall operations for the state.
And then you elect some delegates too to the state committee.
Yes, right. Yep. And that's very interesting to hear and to talk about. And this is super nerdy, talking about Robert's Rules of Order and the actual function of things. But what people need to know is talk to your town committee, they'll talk to the county committee, and then you're only 5 degrees away from the president, but you're only like 3 degrees away from the chairman, and that's how you could really make things happen. Yeah. So I'm really glad we were able to discuss what you do and how you're the head of the state. And one of the biggest pieces of news for the Maine GOP right this moment is we just had an event on Saturday, just a couple days ago. And how did you think it went last night? I want to hear what you have to say about it.
I think it went smashing. It was great. It was a lot of work by a dedicated staff that I have with me at the Maine headquarters. Everybody did a great job in setting it up and planning and coordinating. And one of my jobs as state chair, somebody laughingly referred to me as the official herder of cats.
Yeah, really.
And I kind of felt that way Saturday night because there was just so many moving parts.
Yeah.
And everybody wanted to talk. This is before we even started. And everybody had a last-minute issue. So it was kind of hectic. But I'm used to working in that world of stress and high stress and instant reactions. So I love it, and I really enjoy it. And we had a great meeting before the forum, and then we had 8 prospective governors sitting up on stage. First time we've had that many in one room in this election cycle.
Right.
And they were fantastic. Once the cameras started rolling and the questions started coming, they all were incredible. It
was very smooth, and it was nice not to see any, cat fights breaking out. Everyone was very civil as well.
I didn't want that.
Right.
We don't need to see it. We shouldn't have to see it. Right now, it's still early in the election. There's still a couple candidates who I know are going to throw their hat in the ring. Mm-hmm. So, and they're more than welcome. The more the better. I jokingly tell people that if 4 or 5 more candidates jump in, you're only going to need 2,000 or 3,000 votes to win the primary. There's just so many people.
I didn't realize that's how the numbers.
No, I'm joking. Yeah,
I mean,
I'm joking.
In a weird year.
If it's a low turnout, which I don't think it will be, but it's incredible that there's that many people running, and the quality that we have.
Lots of different backgrounds.
Oh, very incredible. But many businessmen and people with business background, and whatever group gets to the primary, and it's a battle just to get to the primary, because you've got to get. Pretty soon you're going to have to start going out getting signatures, and I think they need somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 signatures to get on the ballot.
Yep.
Some may not be able to do that. It's all about getting your ground team, your ground volunteers lined up to go out and collect signatures. And as I tell some of the candidates, getting signatures is like getting votes. If you can't put together a staff of volunteers to go out and get your signatures, you really probably shouldn't be thinking that you can run the state government as the governor.
Right.
It's important.
It's nice that we have that process where it's like, they have to get the signatures, and that's like one line of defense, and it kind of weeds out. I'm not saying we have any weak candidates right now, but it would weed out any weak candidates who are not organized and do not have the grassroots support. And then getting past the primary, that's a whole nother game to play. And then between the primary and election day, you have several months, and then you have to win the general.
Yeah.
And at that point, if you win the general, it's like, well, you've at least proved a couple things to us that you would do well as governor.
Yeah, and to win the governor, I mean, to win the primary and then move on to the general, now you're operating at a different level. You're operating statewide, and you're trying to win independents, unenrolled, and Democrats to vote for you, because in Maine, the Republicans are in the minority compared to the Democrats. There's more Democrats than Republicans.
I don't know if it's going to stay that way forever, though.
I agree
We've
with
got
that.
some progress.
We are working very well to boost our numbers, and we have.
Yep.
I'm not going to put out the numbers, but we're doing very well. And many independents are coming back to us who left the party for many reasons, but never really left their
common sense.
Common sense, yeah. Their feelings, their inner, their heart and brain, and their conservative backgrounds.
Yeah. So right now, we're having a great discussion, and I'm glad we were able to dive into those things. And we haven't even touched on election integrity yet. So we're going to take a break real quick. I'm going to make this a part 1, part 2 episode because it's so good. So we will be back in just a minute.